Well, the war in Ukraine is 1 month old now, and it's basically just been a nonstop blizzard of lies ever since it began. You've heard about them on this show, which is a good thing because you'll hear about them virtually nowhere else. On Twitter, they'll repeat ridiculous fabrications like the ghost of Kyiv. On CNN, they'll simultaneously tell you lies. They'll say that the Russian troops are being humiliated in Ukraine, but we need to fight them because Vladimir Putin is trying to conquer all of Europe. Ah. In the Washington Post, they'll tell you total lies about the causes of this war. They'll say that this war happened because Vladimir Putin just woke up one day and decided to go and be a supervillain. They'll say it has nothing to do with NATO expansion, when obviously it has everything to do with NATO expansion. In the New York Times, they'll tell you lies about the Azov Battalion. The Azov Battalion, by the way, are literal neo-Nazi war criminals, but now they're our trusted allies. The only people that the New York Times will call fascists now are America First conservatives right here. And by the way, they want you to be treated the same way the U.S. is treating Russia right now. But the most dangerous lies of all, though, come from Congress, where more and more lawmakers are demanding that we impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Some of them seem to think this is like putting Russia in detention. Just close the sky. It's that easy. They're clueless, insane lunatics. A no-fly zone means U.S. forces fighting Russian forces. It means World War III. It means nuclear war, potentially. But insane crying psychopaths like Madam Kinzinger just lie about this and agitate for war anyways. The lies just never stop. Last week, the lie was that Russia was attacking a nuclear power plant and that it was going to explode like Chernobyl. Total fabrication. Every day there's reports about Russia intentionally attacking civilians. Dig into the details and it almost is never true. Civilians do die in war, of course, but there is zero evidence that Russia is carrying out deliberate massacres. These are the lies that people are telling to manipulate you into cheering for this war. And it's working. Just like the lies before the Iraq war worked. Even the White House is lying. The other day, Biden's Twitter account posted a photo of him taking off for Europe. But the photo was clearly staged. It was taken in an entirely different season. And you remember the footage, the still image, the photo of George W. Bush standing at ground zero, right? And he had the bullhorn. And he had his arms around the firefighter. And he was there and he was saying, whoever did this, yeah, I can hear you. Remember, the whole world hears you. And whoever did this, the whole world will hear from the whole world soon, or whatever it was that he said. Remember that? I mean, it was famous. It was there. It was like this image of inspiration. Like, we need to go and we need to kick ass right now. Everybody is united. We are behind this effort. Let's go find them and bomb the hell out of and kill everybody that was involved with this thing. Turns out, the pictures of Zelensky with his body armor on, and he's going to stay there and he's going to fight. Same enemy, different scene.
It actually has me wondering, between 9/11, between all this stuff, between Pearl Harbor, between Vietnam. I wonder if we've ever actually been in a war for any kind of appropriate reason, if we've always been tricked into it. And this is the first time we're kind of calling it out. We're calling it live. And I think this is why we're censored so bad, because, they're getting caught. They can't just do this anymore. Someone's going to catch it. They're going to post it. And as much as you suppress it, as much as you hit it with fake fact checkers, it's going to get out. It's going to upset the people, and it's going to make them question everything. I think they're damaging themselves with this. I really do.
After this maternity ward was allegedly bombed, which now we find out was actually evacuated by these Azov Battalion neo-Nazis like 5 days beforehand, and that there was nobody in there actually. But then yet we see this woman on a stretcher, right? And then later we see her in some completely different rubble, standing there, or at a different time, maybe it was beforehand. And then you come to find out that she's this Instagram model and that all of this is completely fake. We see explosions taking place on the Fox News channel. They're just relentlessly on a repeat playing this massive explosion. Come to find out that was an explosion from China from years ago. This is absolutely the most propaganda I've ever seen. Now, Mindy, obviously we know that in war times, the first thing to be killed is the truth. But it seems that every time the Kremlin says something, it checks out.
It does. And the first thing they did was they banned RT. You could find RT on Gab. You could find it pretty much, you have to search for it. And I'm like, this is weird. Okay, I've already caught the Ukrainian government and our news and our government lying about what's happening in Ukraine. And now I'm not allowed to check, oppositional research. that makes me want to go look for it. I had to look at Indian news. I had to go like outside our own country to find the news. And I'm sorry, but we're in the wrong here. And then you find these biolabs that aren't supposed to be there. And now you understand why the deep state, the media, the same people are all in lockstep. And when they're in lockstep about a narrative, you've got to check it out. I don't care whose other side I'm defending. I can't believe I'm defending Putin at the time, but I hope he levels those biolabs. They're dangerous.
I'm waiting for Putin to, yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for him to initiate his heat-seeking missile strike into Davos, actually, right now. But, you know, listen, the Hunter Biden connection, Burisma, these bioweapons labs. We know that Burisma was a fake energy company. Hunter Biden knew nothing about energy. The $14 billion that was sent from the Biden White House, from the taxpayers, from you and I, over to Ukraine was not to aid Ukraine. It was hush money to keep him quiet so that he wouldn't give up the dirt about what he and Hunter Biden were involved with in Ukraine.
Well, doesn't it make sense why they're doing this fake news? Like last month, no one even understood why we would defend Ukraine. We weren't defending our own southern border. We're broke. We have this economic crisis. No one wanted to go. Now you get this news pumped up and, oh, look at that giant cover up. And it's all the same people involved. It's McCain, it's Lindsey Graham, it's Biden, it's Hunter. It's every scumbag in our government's involved. And they are literally trying to start a nuclear war to cover up what they did there. It's one of the most vile things that I think ever happened in my lifetime. I thought COVID was bad. I thought they were just trying to kill us with the vaccine, and this cold was pretty evil. But here we are. You know, it's Wuhan 2.0. It's just a different story.
And anytime you see Klaus Schwab and George Soros and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds all instigating against Putin, that tells me that Putin actually is more than likely my friend. Mindi Robinson, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great journalistic integrity right there. And find her over on BitChute, exposing all of the lies. If you can keep up. And show them to your neighbor, by the way, who has the Ukrainian flag in her front yard. Oh, Nancy, got to wake her up.